Recording too.
Yes, ma'am. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, but we're going to talk a little bit before we get going with the screen.
Looks good. All right, let's kick this thing off. We're recording. We're good to go.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good evening, everyone. How's everybody doing? Good, good, good. I see some heads nodding. Thank you all so much for being here. Let's make sure we go back to the presentation. Dari.
I clicked something and it just went away.
It's all good. Hi, everyone. I'm Christine Edwards-Pitkin. I'm the founder and principal at Civility Localized and also the founder of the Civic Impact Academy. So I really appreciate you all being here tonight. I know Wednesdays are busy nights and there's always something going on in Charlotte. So thank you for choosing to be here with us. So tonight we're actually going to go over the information for the Civic Impact Academy Cohort 3. And we actually have a couple of cohort alum here tonight, which you're going to hear from. And then y'all, if I know we have a section for our alum reflections, but if you can't stay the whole time, just shoot me a message on the side and just say, hey, I want to say hello and bring my greetings, and then I've got to run. But y'all just let me know. But I'm happy to have you guys here. So let's begin. Can you go ahead and go to the next slide?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I just did a quick introduction. And so now I want to hear from y'all. And before we do that, I want to have Dari introduce herself as well.
Yes, I am Dari Crawford, and I am the new program manager for 2026 for the 2026 cohort. Last cohort in 2025, I was the assistant program manager. So now I am the program manager.
Yes, she is the big dog. And she will be program manager for the foreseeable future. I love having Dari as a part of this team.
Yes.
Um, just some quick introductions around the room. I would love to hear your name,
Mhm.
and what is your civic superpower? And that is, what problem or issue does your superpower naturally draw you toward? So that means, like, what civic issue or challenge in the community are you really drawn to?
Mhm.
Who would like to go first?
I can go first.
Go ahead, Miss
Okay.
Stinson.
Hi, everyone. My name is Beatrice Stinson. I would say my superpower, the issue, I would say is unhoused individuals.
Absolutely. And what kind of would be your superpower? Like, how would you address that population or that challenge?
Ooh, it's a
That's a,
complex one.
that's a big question.
Well, I automatically thought I'm very I have a lot of empathy for people. So I think hearing their stories, sharing their stories, and being able to provide resources based on their stories.
Got it. Thank you for sharing.
Mhm.
So that kind of gives y'all an idea of what we're going towards is like, what is your name and what's kind of your civic superpower. So Patria's superpower is her empathy and her interest in sharing the stories of unhoused individuals. All
And
right.
I'm DeVal Murchison, and this is easy for me, quite actually. I'm a member of the 100 Black Men of Greater Charlotte, which means um, my superpower is and passion is for the plight of young Black males specifically.
Mhm.
Um, Worked in the prison system 27 years, so I watched the school to prison pipeline all those years. So here I am today. In answer to the second part of the question, what am I doing or will I do? It's what I am doing. Outside of doing group mentoring with the 100 Black Men, I also do a separate group mentoring thing in Title I schools and have been for 4 years. And I created a program now that's not only a 12-week program called RPBK, Reinvent Princes, Build Kings, but also developed a 150-hour curriculum, a full year curriculum based on this whole thing. So that's it.
That's
That's
wonderful.
good.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Simone Pope. I would say my civic superpower would be, I guess, engagement. Right now, I am a student at UNC Greensboro studying public health. And right now, I'm working with my neighborhood association, and I'm trying to weasel my way in and get voted in to be the community engagement person for our community.
I love that.
Yes. I love that. Do you mind sharing with us which neighborhood?
Yeah, Brookfield Neighborhood Association. So, northwest side of Charlotte off of Hoskins. So I think the historic Hoskins community, I guess, would be the, I guess, name for the area.
Awesome. I'm familiar. Good, good. Okay, thank you for sharing. Who do we have next?
Hi, I'll go next. So I'm Aliana, and like Duval, my passion is more particularly for young people of color to um, pursue STEM careers and teach them how to like really pursue like those the careers and learning in that area. And what I do have is a nonprofit called STEM Sisters for young Black women.
That's awesome, Aliana. I didn't know that about you.
Oh, well, thank you.
I love it. Aliana and I are birthday twins.
Yes,
Oh.
yes.
Well, thanks for joining the call and thank you for sharing.
Mhm.
Okay. Who do we have next? I'm gonna save our two alum. How about, is it Dr. Aquinetta?
Juanita, I just got on like 1 minute ago,
Sorry about that.
so
I
I
don't
don't
mean to.
know what we're doing.
Absolutely. So just share your name and you can share if you're affiliated with an organization and your civic superpower. So that's a problem or an issue in the community that you're naturally drawn to and how you would solve it.
Um, Not sure how I would solve it, but my the name of my nonprofit is Beacon Light of Refuge. It is a nonprofit that provide resources for the marginalized individuals who are in need. So that's the vulnerable population here, the unhoused, those who are living in poverty, which would be the vulnerable individuals. And my mission is attached to it's biblical. It's attached to a scripture, James 1, verse 27, where it talks about um, taking care of the orphans and widowers.
Mm.
Okay.
So basically, one day, one step, one family at a time.
I love it. Thank you. And just share the name of the nonprofit one more time.
Beacon Light of Refuge.
Speaking like,
Got it. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Okay. And sorry to put you on the spot, but I thought that was perfect. Okay. So how about Dr. Yo?
Hi.
Hello.
hello.
So you wanted me to address my superpower?
Yes, and share which cohort you are an alum, you graduated with.
So I graduated with the 2025 cohort. Excited to be here. My superpower has always been the passion and the ability to relate with others and develop a grassroots communication system to extend conversations beyond the norm of how we receive information and give information. And so I've always had a passion for community and people, and I love the platform of being able to to hear the voices of the grassroots organizers where all the power lies and being able to shift the dynamics for our society and where we'd like to be. And so it's a pleasure to be here.
Mhm. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. And Miss Adreinna Johnson.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Nice to be here. I am a 2025 graduate cohort 2. Can you hear me okay?
Yes,
Yes, we
ma'am.
can hear you.
Oh, okay. So I was thinking about my superpower. So in the cohort, it was voting. So I've added some on top of that, which is health and wellness and what did I write down here? And finding resources for basic, just like helping with the electrical bills, um, food and gas. Those seem to be things that people are having with the increase in the bills and the economy now. Those things are making people fall behind and get evicted. So those things are becoming more passionate, which they already were, but I think more about that. And I know we always focus on the lower income, which we should, but the middle income, which is going to, I feel like, eventually become lower income if we don't have some kind of support or system for them also. So I'm trying to, in the process now, trying to figure out what other resources are out there. How can I get that information out? Since being in the cohort, I'm a community engagement ambassador. And right now I'm trying to work with public health on some things to see how I can connect with them.
Mhm.
So all of that.
Yes, that's a
Thank
lot,
you.
but it's
Yeah.
needed. It's needed,
Yeah.
and the first thing you said was voting. So, all of those things are very necessary right now.
And I have been working with the voting polls. So I've done that also since the cohort. So that is what I've actually done as well is work the polls. I've done it, I think, twice. Yeah. So that was a good experience. And I think I'll continue to do that and trying to encourage people to vote and how the importance of voting.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you too much. Thank you to our alumni joining tonight. I appreciate that.
All right. Dara, do you want to go over the agenda?
Sure. The agenda, we already did the welcome and the introductions. We did the group icebreaker. Christine will do the program overview. And we will have, since we have 2 alumni here, maybe they both will say something for reflections, and then we'll do Q&A and next steps.
All right. So I'm not going to keep y'all too late tonight. Um, I know you want to get back to your family, so forgive me if I run through this information pretty quickly. We are recording it, so you will get an opportunity to revisit it. So, what is Civility Localized? Who are we? We were founded in 2018. Civility Localized is a for-profit consulting firm, MBE certified. We have all of our certifications, headquartered right here in Charlotte. My background is in local government, and I used to work for Mecklenburg County government as their community relations coordinator. And we are a community engagement first firm. So we work primarily with governments to enhance their community engagement capacity and help them get the word out on a lot of special projects. So I am getting ready to go over some of our values and some of the case studies. And really, this is just to share what we like to call social proof, just to show, why is Civility Localized the right facilitators for this program? What kind of experience do we have in this community? So just to share our values, number one is trust. I have to have the trust of the community, and my team has to trust me to make, the right decisions about some of the projects that we take on. The next one is togetherness, just letting the community know that we're truly all in this together. And then, of course, inclusion is important to us, but at the center of everything is community. You can't be a community engagement firm without, really centering the community. And then, of course, we have ease, autonomy, and fun. So I am an entrepreneur by choice, but I was kind of an entrepreneur that was kind of forced into it, kind of forced to make a way out of no way.
Yeah.
When I kind of hit a wall in my local government career. Y'all let me know in the chat if you're feeling that right now. That's a conversation for another day. But I just think it's so important to have ease, have autonomy, and have fun, and create an environment that does not look like the environment that I was in when I was working my 9 to 5. So those are our values. We'll go to the next slide. All right, and here are just a couple of case studies that we've worked on since being founded in 2018. So in 2021 through 22, we worked with Mecklenburg County and we managed their participatory budgeting pilot program. So participatory budgeting is a process that allows community members to determine how to best address their needs of their community. And so Mecklenburg County, this was a pilot project. And there are other cities that have done this, like the city of Greensboro, the city of Durham, but Mecklenburg County wanted to explore this idea and they allocated $3 million and set it to the side, and they put the decision-making power into the hands of the county residents. And what we did was, as a consulting firm, is we actually identified residents in each county district. We got about 12 residents across Mecklenburg County in each district. So 12 times 6, we got about 80 residents to volunteer and go and canvas out in the community and identify what the greatest needs were so we could allocate that $3 million. And some of those programs are still being funded to this day. All right. The next pilot program is we worked recently with the CRTPO, and they've been in the news lately because they are a long-range planning organization, transportation planning organization. It stands for the Charlotte Regional Transportation Planning Organization. And we actually work with them to host a series of pop-up events and focus groups. And so a lot of times people will ask, what's going on with transportation in Charlotte? We don't know what's happening. And so these departments and agencies hire firms like Civility Localized to go out into the community and, inform people and then collect that feedback. So yeah, and the last case study that I'll mention here is the CATS Red Line commuter rail. I don't know how we got into this transportation space, but that's kind of just a niche that we're in with our consulting and our community engagement support. And it's really important. If someone asked me what would my civic superpower be, it's about our infrastructure and our urban design and our built environment and how that really impacts the way that we live day to day, and that includes transportation. So what we did with CATS is we hosted 2 rounds of community engagement, one in the spring of 2024 and one in the fall of 2024. It was a set of public meetings to inform the general public and collect feedback about the CATS Red Line commuter rail. All right. And y'all, if y'all have any questions about these projects or anything like that, feel free to drop them in the chat. Or if you just want to make note of it and just ask me once we get to the Q&A. All right. So why Civic Impact Academy? Why now? So I decided to launch the Civic Impact Academy in 2024 after all of those years of consulting and starting to learn about, how our community is growing and what support is actually needed. And then working with our governments, I started to look around and I said, you know what? I think that our local governments actually need some additional support and help in communicating these complex projects out to the community. And we need to be able to build a bridge. There needs to be a better bridge between the government and the community. And so that is why we started the Civic Impact Academy. We also found through our research that historically people of color have had limited to no power in policymaking, and that's allowed lawmakers to cement racial disparities in power and wealth. Also, Americans today are less confident in major U.S. institutions than they were a year ago. And these stats are from 2024, 2023. So imagine the level of confidence now. right? It's probably even less. So we know that generally speaking, there's a distrust in government. We have low voter participation rates here in Mecklenburg County. We know that racial disparities exist right now when it comes to civic and political power, and there's failing confidence in our institutions. That leads to these social barriers and it leads to greater inequity. And then we, especially thinking about civic engagement, in our communities, there's historically low numbers of engagement. And a lot of that has to do with barriers and access. And there's also a lack of diverse perspectives in government. So that is why we started this academy, just to create a bigger community around people that will actually go into City Hall and let the government know this is what we want and this is what we need. Yep, and that's our theory of change. Building bridges between the government and the community. So this program aims to enhance the equitable community engagement skills of local government professionals. So we want our local government staff, frontline staff, program managers, analysts, we want them to join, okay? We want them to enhance their community engagement skills. We also want to improve the civic engagement knowledge of leaders in historically marginalized communities. So we want to, enhance your knowledge. You all probably already come with a whole host of skills and knowledge, but we want this program to boost that knowledge as well. And then we also want to build the social capital of both groups together to affect positive and sustainable change. So there's definitely something that both of these audiences can learn from one another. All right. So the program overview. So this cohort is a 20-person cohort, and we are asking for 10 community leaders and 10 government representatives, just to balance it out. It is 12 weeks of learning with live workshops, just like this, live virtual workshops designed to skill up on equitable community engagement, advocacy, and navigating those systems. There will also be time for networking, which we're going to go over. And applications open up July 1st, and then the program starts on September 9th. And this is a hybrid program. So we do have a couple of in-person events that are really required, like the really pivotal events, like the kickoff is in person, the graduation is also in person, but most of our workshops are virtual. And we've done that intentionally so that it is convenient, for you to come and learn, but also we have built in time for y'all to get to know one another as well. All right. And then I'll go over this and then I will pause. I think I have a couple more slides and then I'll pause and see if we have any questions. So this is our third year running the Civic Impact Academy, and we tweaked some things along the way and just asking our cohort members, what do they like? What do they want to see more of? And so this is the curriculum that we are going with for this year. So the first 6 weeks, are really kind of your foundational pillars for civic engagement. Of course, we'll have our program kickoff and Civics 101 on September 9th. Then we have a virtual session on exploring Charlotte's history, where we have a local historian come in and tell you all about the history of this region. We are also going to have an in-person walking tour, history walking tour. Last year we had a bus tour and I thought it was really well attended and it was an awesome tour. But this year I really want to try out this walking tour and see if we can actually get a bigger crowd to come out and just have a different kind of perspective.
I agree. Last year, the bus tour, guys, it was phenomenal. I am really excited to do the walking tour with Tremaine. I think it's going to be awesome. It's going to last probably about 2 hours from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on that day, on September 18th. And what we are trying to do after that is have a lunch for everyone or with everyone.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Oh, and then the things that you see here that are in bold, those are in person. All right. Then we'll go into local government budget and policy. We're going to hear from a budget analyst to talk about how government budgets work. And then community organizing 101, understanding power dynamics. Then we'll actually have a PR professional to lead the communications, media, and storytelling workshop. This is where you're going to learn how to tell your story. You know, when we talk about our civic superpower, it's like, how can we get that into almost an elevator pitch? How can we get that into a story that is going to get the media's attention, not just for attention's sake, but to bring light onto the issue that you're trying to solve? So that was a lot of people's favorite workshop too. All right. And then the last part of the foundational series is mapping influence and identifying your stakeholders. And I usually teach that workshop, and that's all about community engagement and outreach techniques. All right, the next few topics that you see here: health, education, planning, community health, housing, education, planning, and community health. These are our deep dive topics. So we're going to be inviting experts who work with the government, and we're also going to be inviting grassroots speakers to come in and discuss these topics. All right. And then at graduation, everyone will be expected to present on their community design challenge. And the community design challenge is an action plan. It's going to be an action plan that we will give you the tools to design to develop collaborative solutions to your civic superpower problem or your focus area. All right. And I think we'll go to the next slide. These are the 5 focus areas. Last year, we had everyone do their own civic design challenge in their own focus area. But what we noticed is a lot of the topics fall into these major focus areas. So the community health will be one focus area. Urban planning, transportation, infrastructure, education, communications, and housing. So you're going to be assigned basically to a group where you're going to be coming up with collaborative solutions in that focus area. And last but not least, who should apply? I will go over this slide really quick, and then we will pause just to see if y'all have any questions so far. All right, so who should apply? From our community side, I would love to see some social impact entrepreneurs, activists, organizers, people that volunteer at their church, people that volunteer for their neighborhood leaders, coalition leaders, if you have led a coalition locally or even nationally. And then, of course, nonprofit program staff. I think the first year we had someone from Our Bridge for Kids, and that is a immigrant support agency. And then we've had a few nonprofits represented in this program. Trying to think of another one, but I can't think of one. Can you put the meet the cohort link in the chat, Dari? Oh, there it is. Can you go back really quick? I forgot that was the next slide. Okay. And then on the government side, we want to hear from planners and consultants, communication folks, budget, analysts. Oh, hold on. Can you go back?
Shoot. I clicked the chat and
that's okay. It's all good. Thank you. Yeah, so the government, we want to hear from people that basically have like a public facing role, like they're consultants, they're planners in the community, they work in the budget department. I'll give you an example. From the first cohort, we had someone from the city of Concord who worked in the finance department, but her passion was actually for housing and affordable housing. And then we have Adreinna. Are you still on the call? And you work with Mecklenburg County, right?
I'm still here.
And what department?
So I'm in asset and facilities management. We do the construction renovations and the new builds within the county, making sure all of the government buildings are kept and renovated and built appropriately. But I
Absolutely.
also work with the budgeting part too. I'm a management analyst, but I tackle a lot of different things and work with a lot of different departments too.
Absolutely. And so you're working within the county, but you're also working with the community. So it's good to just have
Mhm.
that perspective of what are the challenges going on in the community and how can you bring that back to your organization, and
Right,
be a better analyst and be a better facility manager.
right. Hmm.
Right. Thank you. Okay. Just a snapshot of some of the cohort members. Um, Smithfield Community Coalition, that was one of the nonprofits. That is a neighborhood-based nonprofit. Ada Jenkins Center, um, a Giving Heart Project, and some of these are also social entrepreneurs as well. So these are nonprofit founders. Let's see. City of Charlotte, we have represented in cohort 1. So yeah, so we're trying to make sure we get more folks on the government side. I haven't had as much luck, but that's okay. I just need to send this to my government clients and get them to sign up. So yeah. Right. What questions do y'all have so far? Just really quick before we hop into reflections. Anything we can answer quickly.
No
Okay.
questions here. Yeah.
Okay, if not, let's hear from our alum. Anything that you have not already shared, just, what was your experience in the cohort and how did it help you, in your journey, in your civic engagement journey?
Yeah.
Dr. Yo?
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. In regards to alumni reflections, every area that was touched in the Civic Impact Academy either enhanced or broadened my knowledge of some of the intricate parts that brings Charlotte together as a community. And so learning the history was very instrumental for me because I had been a part of, and I still am, the political atmosphere here in Charlotte and running for office, but having more detailed information about the neighborhoods and how they were formed and the um, the information that was shared and how certain communities, as it was throughout the U.S., were treated or torn down, the people in the community, and then the communities in itself destroyed for the highway systems that were built, the
Redlining.
displacement of community and individuals. And so that, yes, I heard the redlining,
Mhm.
absolutely. And so that was very, very important for me as I continue to serve in the community beyond where I live. Um, Other parts that were very instrumental. So that was the bus tour as well as the history of Charlotte. Having the various individuals in government and community come forth and share during our sessions was great for me. I am a passionate person and individual about community and about individuals and making sure they understand the various parts of our government, but also ensuring that they understand that their voices are important. And so, how do we vote? And how do we recognize and know the individuals that we're voting for? How do we serve to be a great part of that community? And most importantly, having the communication systems set up that would allow us to give our voices, lend our voices, versus individuals always coming to us and tapping into what we have and taking away, but really allowing us to have that opportunity to share who we are. And then also receiving information, whether we are in a store or out in the community, one of those platforms to be able to help build upon. So, being in the Civic Impact Academy was just awesome for me because Christine and Dari and the program itself offered so much great information for us, and then also being able to utilize the information in the platforms to connect with others who would have programs or initiatives that can help further or broaden the reach in which you are passionate about. And so not only do you tap into the resources, but you tap into your cohort members to find out more about community initiatives, and then how do you tie your passion with their passion so that we can reach and impact more of the communities that exist in Charlotte. It has been phenomenal. I've leveraged my business, my own personal business as an entrepreneur, serving and speaking on various platforms as a result. So there have been some great um, opportunities that have been developed as a result of being a part of this awesome Civic Impact Academy. And I wouldn't change anything about it, but to continue to enhance it and to be a part of it as a partner or in another capacity supporting the program.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Dr. Yo. It's been just a joy to get to know you, and you've just been a blessing to me, and I appreciate you. Adreinna?
Hi. My experience with the program has been amazing as well. One thing I do want to say, and I think I told, well, I'm sure I did, I told Christina and Dara both that I'm so glad that everyone in the leadership within the Civic Impact Academy is so professional, detailed, um, and on point with everything they do, and they do in excellence. I appreciated that. The knowledge that I gained as far as the history of Charlotte, because I'm not from Charlotte, um, that allowed me to understand some of the passion that some of the county commissioners have, and I always wondered why. And specifically, I'll say Miss Velma Lee. Just looking at that history and knowing how long she's been here because she's 92, she's seen a lot. So I understand her passion more when she dives into issues. Um, which this is her last year, but yeah, she's done a tremendous job with the seat that she's held. Um, and what I've done so much, which I've learned so much about Charlotte and more about civics. So I'm now a community engagement ambassador. I am an American Heart Association ambassador. What else am I? I work with Dress for Success on some things that they are doing and trying to get connected with them a little bit closer, but I do a lot with Dress for Success. Um, and I'm really into more of the health and wellness and mental health. So I am a QPR instructor, which is suicide prevention. I'm a facilitator for that. Um, and then mental health first aid. And then I had to write this down because I do so much I kind of forget sometimes. I just became a RAP facilitator, which is Wellness Recovery Action Plan, focused on mental health and how to write action plans and kind of deal with the mental health issues that's going around. Um, so those are some things that have come about my experience, but I think it's a great program for anyone that is able to join. And I hope you do get more local government and city government employees involved. And I brag about you all the time. I brag about the program all the time. I try to make sure I'm telling people about things. I like to connect people and I like to network. So that's another one of my superpowers.
Yes.
Yes, it is. Thank you so much. You've been a blessing to us.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Just a few more things to run through, and would love to hear if y'all have any questions. So we are officially inviting you to join Cohort 3 in 2026. Our applications will open July 1st. You already have the information you need in order to apply. You're going to just go to civicimpactacademy.com. And since you registered and attended this program today, we're going to go ahead and add you to our newsletter so that you will get notified. Y'all already took the first step. So, give yourselves a round of applause. You've already took the first step to applying to this program. The application is absolutely free. It opens on July 1st and it closes on July 31st. And all of the accepted participants will be notified, I think, by August 9th. because we want to give people at least a 30-day notice that they are invited to join the program. All right. And that start date is September 9th, and it will be in person. Go to the next slide, and then the next slide. Okay, so how to get involved. We are still looking for instructors. We have our instructors pretty much firmed up, but if you have an idea of someone that could really speak to one of those categories, I'm definitely an open book. We will provide the email address where you can send those ideas and those thoughts. You can also become a sponsor. If you're not sure that this program is for you, but you want to sponsor, you want to donate, or you want your organization to be a sponsor, we're also accepting sponsors as well. And that's also available on our website, civicimpactacademy.com/support. And then, of course, we would love for y'all to enroll as a participant. And on the next slide, we have information. So go next. Okay, so this is information about our participant enrollment. So the enrollment fee and sponsorship opportunities, the cost per participant will be $547. So in order to enroll into the program, you do have to pay the $547. I think there's an opportunity for payment plans with the platform that we're using, but that is the cost per participant. And then also, if you want to sponsor a participant, we do have different levels that you can actually donate at. We do have limited scholarships that are available. I think this year we're probably going to have a couple of scholarships, but the more sponsorships that we get, the more scholarships we can offer. All right. And that's the email, the academy@civilitylocalized.com. That is the email that you're going to email for sponsorship opportunities, or if you have any questions at all about the academy. All right. So that is your official invitation to join. And I think if you go to the next slide, we actually have this quote, powerful quote. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. So we invite you all to, equip yourself with these tools to change the world. Thank you. Y'all let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you, Christine.
I do. I just kind of waited I wrote down 4. I thought maybe through the conversation I would hear the answers. Sort of, I guess. Let me see. I'm only going to ask a couple because I think by answering 1 or 2, you'll get the other ones. Civic Impact Academy is for the person that wants to, or the person who, it's an open end, like for who is it for? And really why?
Like to what end?
Exactly.
So the idea here is to develop your civic design challenge into an action plan that is eventually fundable. That can be an action plan that you can take, and it could be the start of a business plan. It could be the start of a campaign platform. This idea that you have, this thing that you're passionate about, we're going to give you the tools to build it out even further. And on the flip side, on the employer side, this is also a program that is for workforce development and professional development and networking. I can just tell y'all, the alumni network, the group chat, the alumni group chat, it is so valuable.
Yeah.
It is the events that are being shared, the resources that are being shared, the connections that are being made with our alum. That really is one of the better outcomes of the program.
I agree. One of the major things that came out of the 2025 cohort was Sean and his Civic Men and how he is doing this whole production. Christine, do you know exactly what it is? I know he's having an event on May 23rd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's his documentary, and I think Mr. Murchison is involved with it. It's his documentary, and it started with this idea that men are not asked to really engage in this space, you know, in the civic space. And so really the program acted as an incubator. It really incubated that idea and provided the resources in the network to bring it to life. I don't know if how many of y'all have done a business cohort. You know, I've done all the cohorts. I've done the business cohorts, the women's business program, the Goldman Sachs, you know, the Cornell Women in Business. I've also done all the leadership cohorts, Leadership of Charlotte, Class 42, LDI. What's the other one? The League of Women Voters, Civics 101, all of the cohorts, you know, and I have not seen one yet that brings all of these groups together. And it's not about the dollar. It's not about the bottom line. It's not about, oh, I'm in this so that I can make more money in my business. I'm in this program so I can cultivate this idea, this thing that I'm passionate about.
That's good. Any other questions?
I think it would be interesting though if I have had some conversations with UNC Charlotte, and because I have a colleague there who's interested in developing this into like even a college curriculum, and it very well could be, you know, it very well could be. So that's something that I'm kind of thinking about leaning towards. And then also for planners and consultants, they need credit hours. So like if you have a professional license, like a professional engineering license, or you have a financial planner license, or something like that, then you need credit hours to go towards that license. So this could also work towards those credit hours. You can talk to your employer about it, and see if they would have it count towards that.
All right. Were there any more questions?
No,
Yes,
but
I have a question.
go ahead.
Sorry.
Nope, go ahead.
And my question is regarding the scholarship. So how would I know if I'm eligible for one or what is actually available for scholarship wise?
That's a good question. So that's actually going to be on the application, and you'll, you know, check the box and let us know if you're interested in a financial scholarship. So that'll be one of the application questions. And there's just a limited number available. I think we're doing 2 scholarships this year.
Yes.
So it's just a limited number. And the evaluation process, we actually do have a board. Oh, we need to include that in the deck. So we have an advisory board, and they're involved with reviewing our applications. And the advisory board members, there are 5 of them, and they're listed on our website.
Okay, thank you.
Great question. Thank you, Simone.
I was going to say, I think I may be more beneficial to you all with the media storytelling thing. Reason being because the thing I'm passionate about, I'm already doing. It's on a fast moving train. I mean, the plan I implemented last September is going to come to fruition this summer. So I guess what I'm saying is I'm ahead of the game. Way ahead. MOU about to happen, a bunch of stuff, and the CMS and all that. So I'm thinking, what is there anything I can do to help with regards to the whole storytelling thing? I mean, you know, for those of you who don't know, I'm a filmmaker, videographer, so videographer, filmmaker in that order. So that's where I'm at with that.
Absolutely. We would love to have you still participate. You know, even if it's not as a participant, maybe you can share the information with folks that you work with or people that you think might, because I know that 12 weeks is a large commitment. I know that it is, and you want to make sure that it's going to be a good use of your time. But if you can think of someone that you can send our way, I would be so appreciative of that. And, you know, just stay within our network.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Just stay close. Don't go too far. What was I going to say? We had toyed with the idea because last year we got a lot of applications that were outside of Charlotte and even outside of North Carolina. And so we had toyed with the idea of putting some of the modules online and having people just kind of participate with the virtual on-demand version of the academy. You know, they might not be in a cohort, but they can watch the recorded sessions on demand. And so that could bring value to people. Maybe you don't want all 12 weeks. You're most interested in the media storytelling, or you're most interested in housing. So you can kind of pick and choose which one that is. But that's not available right now. But if it soon, it's coming soon. If more people say, hey, that's what we want, then we might be able to build something like that. But right now we are trying to fill cohort 3.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, if there's no other questions, I believe we can go ahead and wrap up. Again, my email address is academy@civilitylocalized.com. So whenever you were getting those emails with thank you for registering, that's all me. Feel free to reach out to me. You can schedule a meeting if you want to, if you come across any questions that maybe you don't want to email and you just want to hop on Zoom. I'm available. You'll have my link to schedule that meeting with me. Dr. Yo, you look like you were about to say something.
I'm not. I'm just excited about the next opportunity and seeing this move forward. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're excited too.
Woohoo.
Cohort 3, coming soon. Again, everyone will get notification in regards to when the application opens. I'm sure that an email will go out. You may get something else from me with the application link to go ahead and complete that. And yeah.
Thank you all.
Thank you all so much for being here.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all have a good night.
All right.
Bye.